Hi, my name is Janira and I'm going to be sharing a little bit about my 10-year journey story with you all. So, to start off, I am a disabled model, disability activist, and influencer on social media. I have a disability, it's called cerebral palsy, and spastic quadriplegia. Basically, it was caused by malpractice at birth, and it affects my forelimbs. I have limited mobility in both my legs and in both my arms. It has caused me to use a wheelchair for everyday momentum, movement, just to get around and things like that. My wheelchair are my feet. Um, so I'm currently going on 28. So about 10 years ago, I was 17, 18, finishing high school and going into college. In college, I quickly learned that I had to speak up for myself in order to get the accommodation and for my voice and rights to be listened to and heard. I am glad to say that throughout my college career, I did very well. I started off with LaGuardia Community College, and I got my associates in paralegal studies. I was a part of the dean's list every semester with a GPA of 3.9, 4.0. I always like sharing this story where in one particular semester, I believe it was my second semester in college, um, teachers usually have like reunions at the end of the semester with their students to kind of talk about their strengths and their weaknesses. And with this particular professor, as soon as I walked in his class, he quickly apologized. And I was kind of taken aback and confused because I don't know why he was apologizing for. And he quickly made it known what it was about. He apologized because he had underestimated me and thought that because I had a disability, I wouldn't excel in his class. Yet I was one of the three students who received an A in his class, and that really was a wow moment for me, um, because I didn't know that just being me, authentically me, with my disability, in my wheelchair, going to college, I was going to be turning heads and really changing the perspective and minds of people, um, of what it is to have a disability and live with it. Then I ended up transferring to John J.F. Criminal Justice after I got my associates, and I majored with a mi- majored with I'm sorry, I majored in John J.F. Criminal Justice in English with a minor in law. And as well, there I was turning heads and speaking up for myself, having my voice be heard. Um, Dean's List every semester, and then at the end, I graduated, and I was so proud of myself. Really, I feel like I was the only one with a disability in my graduating class. Actually, I was. Um, but yeah, I did it, and I got my bachelor's in English, and I have my associates in paralegal studies, and that to me was means everything. I Throughout that time, I received so many messages of just people really saying, "Wow, you have really changed my perspective and my thoughts on people with disabilities because look at you and how you have done and excelled in your college career." Um, really is, you know, when people say things like that to me, um, acknowledge things like that, it really is like, to me, like just a wow moment, like a thank you moment, just because I mean, it's what I do, and it's just being myself, really. Um, and on the other hand, as a disabled model, I really started it out more like because someone in my family said I should give it a try, and there was a photo shoot moment happening with Runaway of Dreams, and I was a part of it. And I didn't think too much about it until they called me back to be a part of the New York Fashion Week show. And really, in that moment, I ended up modeling for Nike and their adaptive clothing at the time. And just that big event, that big fashion show was so inspiring to me. Um, Seeing all the support from the different brands, from the different people, and every other person with disability, seeing them just strut their stuff and being who they were was really like very emotional, and I was glad I was able to be a part of that. Um, After that moment, I really liked it and I really enjoyed it. So I started reaching out to photographers and different modeling agencies to see if somebody would sign me, and just to get like professional photos done. And really, I was surprised when a lot of photographers answered back and were like, "Yeah, well, I would love to work with you, get you some pictures. I really love what you're doing," and things like that. I then ended up signing with We Speak Model Management, and that was my first like big break, signing with a modeling agency. They're fairly new, um, but yeah. And then like fast forward another year, I signed with Zebedee Talent as well, which is more disability oriented, but still really big. And just in my career of modeling and being a model, I've done so many New York Fashion Week shows. I ended up learning how to speak up because not all designers design for people with disability in mind. And so far, I'm really happy to say that every designer I've walked for, I've worked with personally to make garments and outfits that work for me and people with disabilities. So big yay, because it's really showing the importance and making the designers aware that people with disabilities are customers too, and we deserve to feel stylish and fashionable because fashion is a way of self-expression. Um, but yeah, and um, out of one of those fashion shows, turned out that I was a part of a billboard in Times Square New York Fashion Week, which was another big moment in my career because just seeing myself on the billboard was like something else. Was really, I can't really explain it. It was just like very emotional and just like a wow moment. Like, hey, I'm making it with what I'm doing, and things like that. Um, Another moment I like sharing where I really think I became international was I worked with Lancome, L'Oreal in Paris. I was flown out for my sister and myself. Everything, paid for, and I got to work with the brand, meet the CEO, and all of that, on their adaptive handheld machine, which is like making lipstick application easier for people with disabilities or people who have some kind of limited mobility with their hands. And seeing like the campaign come to life and things like that was just really extraordinary. Um, was like a moment like, hey, like now I'm international, I'm an international model, and really was like so all these moments are really so wow. But at the end of the day, I do the things I do because when you see yourself represented in anything in media, and you, sorry, really the things I do throughout my college career, sorry, um, why I did what I did throughout my career in college and as a disabled model now is because representation is very important. And when you see yourself represented, when you see someone like you in the education system, in the media, any type of media, is really showcasing that you matter, that I matter, that we matter, and is the reason why it's so important to me to see that representation that I didn't see as a little girl growing up for everyone, whether or not you have a disability. Really. Um, I always like saying if with all the messages that I receive about parents, family members, just people being kind, saying things like "you're so inspiring" or um, like "if you can do it, I can do it," and things like that, or a parent, maybe a fairly new parent that has a child with disability, saying um, something like, oh, I received a message from my mom one time. She was a new parent. And she said, like, I'm a new mom of a disabled daughter and I don't know what to expect. But seeing you do your thing every day and just sharing it so others can see has really brought me hope and really has brought me hope in what the future holds for my daughter that I was scared of if without seeing how it can be. Messages like that really move me and make me keep on pushing forward to keep on showing how people with disabilities are capable of great things. And why not? We're people just like anyone else. Um, which with each like campaign, job, fashion show I work on, my goal is to show the the beauty and in people with disabilities. For my mission is to help people embrace their uniqueness, because we're all unique and we're all made differently. So why not embrace that and really showcase it? And yeah, that's just my story.